Hello, hello, it's Cian here. As of late, I have been getting more and more people asking questions about my songs, what they're about, how did I come up with them, how did I write them. And maybe that's a case of playing more gigs or getting out talking to people more, being better, pushing myself, I don't know. But I thought what could be fun is to do slightly longer form video than what I would usually do and just give an insight into the whole process for my newest single, Love Somebody, from writing the song, producing the song, making the song, releasing it, and then everything that comes with releasing it, such as the art around it, videos around it, and stuff. So I've got to try and do this in one take, and that way I won't have to edit it down as much. So yeah, whatever way you're watching this, if it's on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're listening or watching this, thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully you like Love Somebody. If you haven't heard the song, it's not going to be really played throughout this. I'll play a little bit on guitar just to reference bits I'm talking about, but if you want to hear the full song again to remind yourself what the song is, or if you haven't heard it before, might be worth checking that out before continuing on with this, because I will be talking about it and you might not have a clue what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's jump right in. The first thing, or the first time I touched this song at all would have been about October 2024. We were preparing for the show in Chelsea Drugstore, which I did with Jack, Shane and Matthew, three most talented boys I've ever met. And I'd say we're about a week or two out from the gig and was really stressed with everything. Was focusing 90% of my time on that in totality. And I kind of just got a bit, I wanted to write something new. I felt I was going back to the same stuff all the time, and I decided I wanted to write a much more poppy song than I would usually write. And I just started singing to myself the riff, which is now not the riff, sorry, the vocals, which are now in the chorus of the final song. The "If you love somebody, if you love somebody," I just started singing that over and over and over, thinking that could be something. It's simple, people sing along to it, people catch on to it. So I wrote that and then started trying to put chords behind it. So I started off with just a simple "If you love somebody, if you love somebody, if you love somebody, if you love somebody, if you and it just kept going like that and that. And I'd say I spent about half an hour playing that over and over and over, trying to come up with the rest of the song. And eventually I realized I liked the melody, came up with the final bit of the chorus, the "you gotta let somebody know before somebody goes." But I thought the chords are a bit static, just got a bit repetitive, especially with the fact that the vocals were staying the same for most of the chorus. So I started playing with just an open G chord on, I don't know if you can see my hands there, open G chord on the highest three strings of the guitar, and then playing around with the bass note to make a difference. So ended up with something a bit more like this. And that became the chorus that is now in the song. I did then keep the original three chords, four chords, the G, C to D, G, C and A minor. I did keep them, just move them after the chorus, and I had it as just an instrumental bit. Then came writing what the song was actually about. This is one of the rare instances where lyrics came before the song, for everything. So the chorus, the first bit I came up with was the vocal melody, and then put chords behind it. And then same with the verses, I just started writing everything down on a page and then cut them back, and eventually got to writing chords behind them, and then made them fit into the melody and the rhythm that I felt worked with that. But yeah, I usually don't do that. If you don't know about me, lyrics very, very rarely come first. So I knew for the verse that I wanted to keep a similar vibe, stay based around that G, which is the start of the chorus. It just keeps everything on the one level playing field. But I also wanted to change a bit so it wasn't the same melody coming back and back for 3.5 minutes. So I started with that G, went to the C, which is the start of the chorus, and the instrumental, and wanted to do something a bit different from the rest of the song. And I'd already gone to the D, which makes sense from there. I'd already gone to the A minor, which makes sense from there. So try going to an F, which my music theory isn't the best, but I don't think is in the same key. So you have which sounds good. As I said, I don't know theory. Maybe it's in a different key, but meshes in well. I don't know. So that's the whole verse is just that repeated over and over. And then that was all starting to come together. So producing the song was very easy. I sat down, got a very basic drum beat going, record the acoustic guitar and scratch track for the vocals. So just quite honestly not very good quality vocal recording, and just had that, and then that's where I built on top of that by putting in bass lines, adding synths, and just meshing out more and more. I tend to be very much a writer while I'm producing the song, so I'll have, before I have the whole song written, I'll have a basis recorded, and that's how I'll write new parts, as I'll just loop over for time and time again the same 4 bars and come up with a bit, which is actually how I come up with what is then the main motive of the song, we'll say. I had that instrumental in the intro and at the chorus, where there's now whistling and a couple of other bits, but I didn't have any melody for that or anything. I had no intention of putting a melody in for it until I got the song finished and it was nearly ready to go off to streaming. Excuse me. Nearly ready to go off to streaming, and then I realised it needed something a bit to gel it together, make it feel like a bit more of a statement. There's the chorus, and then there's this melody, which will be the bit that's caught in your head, which is going well in live performances now. It's the bit people are singing back, which is great. But I just looped them 4 chords, and I started playing around with the guitar. So you had the just going on repeat, literally 3 chords, and I started playing over it, just anything I could. Like, it's anything that you can think that might sound. And eventually I came across that. And I loved it and kept playing it, and then kind of went, okay, this works, but on a guitar on its own sounds a bit flat. It doesn't sound as highly produced as the rest of the song. So I tried whistling it. I tried a couple of things first, and I tried synths, I tried pianos, and then I tried whistling it, and I really liked how the whistle sounded. So started whistling, recorded. I think there's 4 or 5 takes in the final song, all playing at the same time. So what sounds like a whistle is 5 whistles at once, which is maybe why it sounds so good, because I can't whistle very well. But the final song is 5 of that whistle. There's, I think, 2 acoustic guitars and 3 electric guitars, as well as an electric piano, all playing that. In the intro and then in the instrumentals. That's pretty much the process of writing and producing that song. It was done in the space of a couple of weeks. I went back to it time and time again, kept touching it up. I can mix this better, I can mix that better. But the song, as I said, started writing it a couple of weeks before the gig in Chelsea Drugstore, and then lyrically and acoustically had it written. I think finished it the day before the gig, played a little bit of it at the gig, and scared the bejesus out of the boys playing with me because it wasn't on the set list, and I just start bursting out, "If you love somebody," and turned around and Matthew was ready to kill me, because that was it was after the second song. So if that was an indicator of how the rest of the night was going to go, it was going to be rough. But it went well. I didn't throw any more curveballs in on them, thankfully. But yeah, that's writing, that's producing. Then it came time to actually, sorry, I put the guitar down there. Then it came time to actually work on the release of the song, which, for anyone who makes music will know, is the least fun part of making music, is the fact that you have to do a lot of PR work around it, and actually try and push it so people want to listen. So the first thing was to come up with, obviously, cover art for it, which I really love the cover art for this. I knew I had a picture I'd taken in Milan in December of the Christmas decorations up. Some makeup shop had put Christmas decorations up in the street, and it was like big, nearly helium balloons, perfectly spherical balloons, and they were just over the pathway, and I mean, I like taking a good picture, so I took a picture of it, and I kind of went, oh, I want to use that for something the moment I took it. And I just liked I liked the whole vibe of it. It looked really cool. Then when this song came, or when I had this song then on the radar from a couple of months before I'd written it, I decided I wanted to release it. I had this picture then to go with the release, and I started playing around. I realised there's a couple of buildings in the back, and I could play with the colourings of them. If you don't know the cover art, it's very bold, like light blue and pink. So played around with different masks, different colours, to make it look as cool as possible. And there's very little actually editing done on the photo. It is just slap a mask over a particular area of the picture, put a huge like saturation in a particular colour, and then there's a bit of blur. But other than that, it's the raw photo. And the text obviously with my name. Then there's a lyric video that was easy to put together. I just sized up the cover art, typed the lyrics. Bob's your uncle. Takes a couple hours to get out, then that's grand. What I really enjoy with this song is the live performance of it. There are two main live versions that I'm working on at the moment, because I'm not playing with my own band at the moment for this music. So I have an acoustic version, which is me, and an acoustic guitar, and I also have a looped version, which is only if I'm playing a longer set where I can warrant bringing a loop pedal and having time to set up and do stuff like that. I'll do it, which I think works really cool. It's very simple. If you have seen it live, you'll know it's pretty cool. If you haven't seen it live, I can have the independent, or I can have the riff. I can have that independently playing over and over in the back, and I can play over it, and I can build the song. And by the end of the song, there's drums going in from the guitar, there's chords, there's counter melodies, there's space that I can build up the song that it's playing. I can have a jam, a solo over it, or I can put down the guitar altogether and I can keep singing over the song that's already built in the looper. So depending on the length of the set and the kind of vibe of the gig, I have two versions of the song to work with. One of them is completely raw acoustic guitar and vocals, and one is that loop version of the set. And I absolutely love both of them, and I'm glad that I'm enjoying both of them, and I'm not dreading having to play one version over the other. But what we did, I keep saying we, I'm going to stop acting like there's a big team around me. What I did for put together what I think is a really cool music video, definitely the best video I've done so far. We played a gig in Cian Airoldi at the start of February, so about a week before the song actually came out, and I got a couple of mates, so shout out to Sean and Billy for agreeing to hold the cameras for me. And I had an idea of, do I have them here? Give me 2 seconds. Should have been prepared and had this with me. I bought a bunch of these little kind of stone hearts, and the idea with these was I would go and give these to people during the song as a little token of, from me to you, thank you for coming, but also a little reminder people keep on their desk, in their wallet, in their car, wherever it could be beneficial to them, to have that little heart as a reminder of a fun experience, a reminder of someone, just to attach a memory to something if you ever need something to pick you up. And then you could also, if you wanted, pass that on to someone else. And I've had some nice messages and stories people have told me about what they did with theirs, where they put it, or a time it's helped them. So I'm glad that the sentiment behind it is working and is well received. So what we did for the video, back to away from the hearts. What we did for the video is did the looped version, played the song. I had Sean and Billy record me. I also had Noel from who runs NMD Media. I believe it's at NMD_media_ on Instagram. Check him out. Really, really sick. I had him and the two boys recording with their cameras. I had a camera set up on a tripod still and recorded the song, cropped all the footage together, but then looped the song, had that going, and I went down, gave these out to everyone in the crowd. Everyone had a dance, everyone had a great time. And the footage looked so incredible that we comped all that together for, I need to stop saying we, I comped all that together for the final video, and it's kind of spliced between the performance and the interaction with the crowd and dancing, having a good time, having a laugh. Feels like a really raw performance video, but also not at the same time, which I know is a weird thing to say. It's just completely contradictory. but it came out really amazingly, and it fit exactly what I wanted the video to look like. And also I wanted the little heart bit in it, obviously, and I'm glad the sentiment for that because it has gone down well, and that the whole vibe of the song is met with the video, met with people's reactions to it. That's all I really have on the song. Yeah, thank you very much to everyone for streaming it so much as of late. It has become one of my most successful songs in terms of feedback, opinions, what people have said about it, but also in terms of airplay, streaming, reviewership, and everything else. So yeah, if you've streamed the song or bought the song, if you've come out and seen it in a live show, if you got a heart, if you've sent me a message, if you've shared it with a friend, if you've done absolutely anything, thank you very much for supporting me and for supporting the song. Thank you for listening or watching to this mindless rambling. I have like 2 notes written down there of just brief sections. So this has all been kind of off the top of my head, what I can remember from doing it. So I may well have missed some stuff and I may well have waffled, and I do apologise, but thank you very much for tuning in. And if this is something that you've enjoyed, who knows, I may well do something again like this for more songs in the future, or I can go through some previous songs if there are any that people would like this kind of insight into. So yeah, I'm Cian Airoldi. Love Somebody is out now. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you all soon.